So yeah, this was a really quick and, really a summary introduction. But hey, the players were ready, so let's just jump into it. Hello, everybody. I am Hans. I will be casting the ESL GO4 number 212 already tonight. I'm not alone. I'll be joined today by KillerCraft for the first time ever. Actually, we haven't casted together before. So real quick, as the operator bands are starting, do you want to introduce yourself?
Hey, yeah, my name is Kyle, or KillerCraft, however you want to say that. And I am very excited to be here. Be excited to casting a GO4 again, first time since February of last year. So I think we will have one surefire time. This will be a good one.
Awesome. So we jumped into this really, really quickly just to put the viewers into context. The map is going to be Clubhouse. The blue team's name, if you're an Anglophone, if you speak English, is going to be really weird or seem really complicated. So the blue team is French-Canadian, and I believe they are just making a play on words with McDonald's. Nuggets would be play on words on the French word, the French equivalent of nuggets. So let's just call them McDezz. And EQuinox Gaming, I assume, are taking themselves a bit more seriously. Just going off of the names, right? And with that being said, do you want to analyze the bans a little bit? Like, do you think attack or defense is going to be advantaged intrinsically simply because of this or that operator has been taken off the board?
Well, first of all, if we want to start things off, before we even get into bans, we're playing Clubhouse, many would argue very defender-sided map, especially at this point in the life cycle of Rainbow Six. I think I'm a little behind on the ban phases and whatnot. But so far, I have Maverick, Blackbeard, and Kaid. And obviously, Maverick being banned is going to be a huge thing for people running bandit tricks, especially if they use plenty of utility to block anyone trying to deny it. And I think the number one thing we can take from this is that Cash Room and possibly parts of Gym are going to be basically non-existent getting into for attackers. So I think the majority of the rounds here are definitely going to be going to the defenders. And the bans are going to be something that is not, well, somewhat detrimental, but on the same end, not as bad as they could have been.
Indeed. And here, so you did not mention Maestro till a bit later on. I just wanted to be sure, like, you're still seeing the defenders, say, preparing the defense and that kind of stuff, right? You're not still in the operator ban screen?
I am 5 seconds away from fixed phase ending, so I'm going to figure out what's going on my end, and I'm going to take it from here for the next, couple minutes.
That is unsettling. Weird. You know what? Let me just screen share via Discord. It's gonna be a backup plan B should anything go wrong and that kind of stuff. Plus, I don't seem to feel like my screen is 60 FPS, which is also a bit concerning. Like, this seems really choppy. Either way, let me just jump that up a little bit. So yeah, we are gonna be seeing a basement defense coming off of EQuinox Gaming with as a plain denial operator Echo, which is usually banned. This time he was not, so he'll be obviously put to good use. And Pulse, I would assume he would be roaming, but he'll be staying in Arsenal Room. At this point, it's no surprise. But other than Pulse, there's no roaming dedicated operator. Banana might want to roam with Jaeger, but it's really just a roaming operator because he's light, because he's a 3-speed 1 armor operator, rather than having a gadget that will actively helping in doing so, such as say a Vigil, Mozzie, or a Caveira. With that being said, no roamers in play means that the attackers have next to no resistance when taking their first steps into the building itself. And as we can see here, Nins, should he get 1 or 2 picks, he might already be in a position to set foot on the OBJ. Well, those few kills won't happen immediately, but it just goes to show that so far, McDezz have been uncontested all the way.
Yes, that is very true, and especially not having roamers on a map like this is something fun.
So, we're already putting a bit of pressure, vertically speaking. A buck would have been really useful right about here. As we can see, Nins is absolutely playing verticality, but with his gun rather than with anything that might actually helping in doing so. So, the issue here, I believe, is that the blue team expected to be attacking the top floor. So, CCTV and Cash Room, which they're not, and there's going to be first blood right here. Well, Mura's down, but no, he's not yet out of the game. But still, that's going to be a first hit coming off of EQuinox Gaming. we're still really strong. Like, nothing has been eroded too dramatically when referring to the defenses. Well, defenses. And as such, everything still looks pretty good for EQuinox Gaming. With 1 minute remaining, however, let's just say that EQuinox will have to hold off the pressure for a long time, considering we're already firing into the objective. Travel and another guy are going to get both a kill at the same time. It's now a 4v4 situation. And that Echo is going to be feeding so much valuable intel to his teammates. And Bot can be a real danger now. The drone has disoriented them. He will not be flashed. He's in an absolutely strong position. Does not want to give up his position right away. But as we can hear, Thermite's charge is opening up the church area. It's now a 2v4 situation. Godzi here reloading. That might just be fatal. They yet do not know. I believe that Bot is right here. But on the left side, there's also going to be a crossfire that's pretty dangerous. Murphic's getting a nice kill, but he will be peeked to Tyson Nitro. That's exactly going to work. Murphic's now in a 1v4 situation. He has a few cheeky angles, but too little time to put them to good use. And that Yokai drone still is right here. Will he get the first kill? He puts him down, but out. Still disoriented. Has to get in. EQuinox Gaming wins the first round. Sorry for barely or at all letting you talk. Are you still 5 seconds behind? Are you still here? He is not. He's no longer in the call. Let's just ask him. Technical difficulties? Oh, and you are back in the call. Is everything going all right? Okay, well, if you're here, just let me know. If not, I will assume you're absent. And that would be an unfortunate circumstance. Either way, I cannot hear you if you're talking, and he is currently typing in the chat. Or in the Discord chat. So that's not going to be a first round one for EQuinox Gaming, and as such, well, they cannot go in the basement anymore. You don't expect them to go bar, so they'll absolutely be second floor. That comes to no surprise. The surprise, however, will be in the fact that we're not defending CCTV, but rather we're defending bedroom and gym. That, once again, is bound to disorient McDezz. They're bound to be thinking, well, this time they're going to go CCTV. Let's bring, the proper composition to attack said CCTV objective. And when they find out once again that they're not going to be attacking CCTV, well, they will once again have to make do with the composition they've brought forth, even though it's not going to be an ideal situation. So EQuinox, kind of by going into a weaker bomb site, kind of by hurting themselves, hope to hurt McDezz even more. So once again, you're here. All right, great. So you can just talk. Ready when you are.
Hey, sorry, I did not want to interrupt your commentating by any way, shape, or form, so I decided I was just going to wait on it, hold on.
No worries.
So EQuinox was able to take that first round, yeah, in basement and not go to the strongest side of CCTV. And something you were saying that I can totally agree with is that going gym next is definitely going to be throwing off the other team.
Indeed. So by the way, your audio is also better, so I don't know what you did, but you did something great. And let's hope it pays dividends. Let's hope. By the way, is your screen share fixed, or are you seeing the action in real time now?
Yes, I am. I am actually on your screen share through Discord now.
Okay, so you no longer have sound, but let's hope you... and the image is bound to be pixelated as all hell, but better than being 5 seconds late.
Yeah.
I kind of expected a bandit tricksing phase to be a bit more persistent than this. So it's just the it's just as difficult as setting a Thatcher EMP grenade, and God's opening up the wall, and already we're set to put pressure on the bomb point. Not that it's gonna happen immediately, as we can see, Godzi is still holding off, waiting for the right time, for the right moment, but. EQuinox really are putting no efforts whatsoever into the roaming phase, and as such we're already set to push into the bomb site. And being at this stage of the game so early into the round, that's bound to be putting the blue team at an advantage. Yet let's see if they're actually able to get into said bomb site, because last time they had plenty of time to push in, but just didn't manage to.
Yeah, EQuinox is doing a wonderful hold here, especially with the Jaeger holding cash room here, trying to delay time as much as possible. And so far, Thermite's only able to get that one wall from the jacuzzi balcony. And actually, EQuinox is going to take the first 2 kills, taking out McDezz's push. leaving a 3v5 situation with only a minute left in the round. I mean, anything can happen, but things are not looking up here. With 2 people of McDezz on the opposite side of the objective, still stuck outside of cash room, it's not going to be the best thing to wind up here for McDezz.
Indeed, so you really put the point. You really identified the weak point here. So the attackers are kind of isolated. As I take Banana's vision, he will be put down. So that's going to be now a 3v4 situation. Still at the disadvantage, but you know, no longer as dramatic as it just a few seconds ago was. And that kill on Bandit is going to be crucial. It should allow Kurama to push in. He does exactly just that, and the situation has totally been flipped upside down. McDezz is now winning the second round in a way that I would not have expected. Like, it was a matter of a single kill, the one flank collapses, and McDezz was just able to push in uncontested at this point. That was a really perfect situation that has been identified and seized, you know?
Yeah, I agree. That was a complete and total frag fest at that point in time. I mean, EQuinox had almost every advantage they possibly could have had, still holding multiple rooms off-site. But those Habana holes in construction just allowed for a complete collapse of Jaeger. I believe that was Taku holding inside of cash room for EQuinox. It allowed them to pinch off that Jaeger, then gain necessary control. That kill into the Bandit was a huge thing as well.
Absolutely.
Something completely round changing, and I think that is probably a couple of kills that won McDezz that round.
So now the, let's say, hide and seek game is going to be over. EQuinox Gaming will be going in the CCTV area, and I really want to underline this, because this time there's not going to be any subterfuge. McDezz is going to have the preferred composition, presumably, to attack a, at this point, predictable bomb site. I do not see a thermite in their composition, so maybe they kind of doubted themselves, but in either way, this is not going to be the one round that I would have expected to see right at the beginning. You know, the most predictable, most favored, presumably easiest bomb site to defend is the one that's actually going to be picked now. Valkyrie is also going to be making an appearance for the first time, and on the attackers team, I don't believe we've seen an IQ so far, so a few new pieces of utility will be brought to the table. Let's just see how either teams will make use of said utility.
Yeah, that Valkyrie being brought is probably going to be a pretty huge thing, especially for sites like this that you require a lot of intel, and you don't necessarily need as much intel denial per se. But however, they bring mute bot on the mute just in that case. But we see Habana has actually already used a set of her pellets a few seconds ago on the first floor of Garage. So I'm not sure what she's going to try to get here. And it doesn't look like Bandit is bandit tricking by any means. Oh, the mute jammer is actually going to block it, and the Bandit's going to come out. Is he going to get the Habana pellets?
Probably.
And he is. Yeah. And that wall is completely unbreachable now because they have no thermite, no more Habana pellets. And they're going to have to go for a full...
Was that a Zofia? Yeah. That was a Kiss 79 impact grenade frag. Wow. Yeah. I rarely, if ever, see those. I kind of cut you off there. Sorry, go ahead.
No, it's all good. I was not expecting to see that either. That just clicked in my head. But now we see Harzabear here is doing a wonderful hold, trying to hold off that Zofia just outside of the garage door. But it's going to be a tough round for McDezz to win. That's for sure.
So they're now out of hard breaching capabilities, which will force them to use either windows or doorways that are already in the map. So let's just say they're gonna be playing this Call of Duty style, and being this predictable is bound to be a big challenge for them, but it does not seem to be the case, as Travel and somebody else, I'm not exactly sure which silhouette it was, are already on the bomb site. So now both remaining defenders will have to get a retake of the objective. Bot here is not going to be panicking just yet, getting a solid shot here into, I believe it was Merifix, but not getting the kill. Teiko, however, not pushing in too heavily into the bomb site. That will basically leave Bot on his own for the time being. The good news is the diffuser is not being planted. The bad news is it's now a 1v4, and the diffuser is now being planted. So Teiko, time is ticking, does not have a C4, is not able to, you know, frag out before the diffuser is actually planted, and all odds are against him at this point.
EQuinox had everything going good for them. Unfortunately, McDezz is just taking advantage of them not staying on site properly, and McDezz is going to take the round, winding it out with 4 players still standing on arguably the most defender-sided site here. The Zofia hopping over the shield and taking out the Jaeger. Maybe a wonderful call. May have just been sound. Not really sure, but regardless, McDezz was able to take in was able to push in the site and take complete control of that round completely out from under EQuinox's nose.
So it's quite interesting how last round they were in a numerical disadvantage, the McDezz team, and they were able to flip this, to bring this back. You know, the one kill on Bandit that just changed everything. This round again, they were arguably on their heels. You know, they had the disadvantaged position, and yet they were able this time to sneak in rather than, you know, getting a key kill. But still, it's been 2 rounds in a row that EQuinox Gaming lost a round that they should not have lost. And as such, you know, we're not yet speaking of a momentum to say properly, right? But still, if these same simple mistakes keep repeating themselves, it is bound to be playing tricks on their morale. And that's something that we do not wish on them, because it's an artificial reason for them to be playing in a, you know, sub-ideal manner, which we just simply do not want to see. But should the current, say, pattern end up repeating itself, we might end up seeing that.
Yeah, and especially with McDezz, if they are able to pull a 4-2, if we do continue the current site pattern, like you said, that is going to be absolutely huge for them, especially on defense. A good split that you'd want to see on a map like Clubhouse is 4-2 in favor of defenders, and McDezz has already pulled those 2 rounds. So they have very little to worry about. They're more than likely going to be able to definitely pull it to overtime as long as they're able to hold at least 2 sites, or at least 4 sites on defense, even if EQuinox is able to completely railroad them these next 3 rounds.
So let's just talk real. Oh wow, that's apparently was an attempted spawn kill that Taiko is going to be paying dearly for. 4v5 situation right at the beginning. This time advantage of McDezz, and a strong advantage at that, because, you know, once again, EQuinox barely, if at all, tend to roam. Well, this round obviously was different since we saw the spawn kill, but still, the pressure is going to be mounting on the objective immediately. This time we have both Thermite and Hibana, so, you know, we can open up both their tunnel and basically every hatch. Verticality is going to be really easy to, you know, work for the McDezz team, and as such, you could absolutely expect the defenders to be on their back foot. However, Banana is absolutely ready to be receiving some pressure. The drone hole will be seeing him. He's conscious. He's been spotted. Those pre-fires will not be enough. Now a 5v3 situation. Now it's time to EQuinox to show us the power of the comeback. Let's see if they're able to do so.
A very tough situation for Banana to have been in, but unfortunately looks like Nins was able to take that out. However, EQuinox here has probably all the utility they're going to need to hold on to the site. All of Jaeger's ADSs should be placed at this point in time. Obviously, some Gumans being lost at the very beginning was an unfortunate loss, but you have Yokais, you have Mute Jammers, and you have some Vault Cams. You got plenty of intel and intel denial, especially in this case. With people, with at least just 3 people holding site like this, you can expect a pretty fair fight coming out from both sides.
Like you said, so far so good. You know, EQuinox are still holding on to the objective, and they're holding on pretty tight. The unfortunate news is, however, there are more angles than EQuinox have guns. So should Croquette try to outflank the attackers or the defenders, sorry, at any cost, they should be able to do so. For example, here, that's going to be a double kill by Travel Freaks. Last operator alive. We'll get the kill, but we'll be refragged immediately. Blue team now leading in a 3-1 fashion on, like you said, a defender-oriented map as a whole. This is not looking too great for the American team.
This is definitely not looking great at all for them. I would say that this is a very tough attack to hold up against, especially the way that EQuinox is playing. They're not focusing on roamers as much. They're pushing site directly, and that's something that... I'm sorry, McDezz is just pushing site directly, and EQuinox is not holding up to that properly. They're expecting, you know, an organized attack. They're expecting... I'm not saying that McDezz is not organized by any means, but I just think that they're relying too much on strategies and not adapting the way that they should be.
So I think... I do believe that EQuinox have found their weakness, the total lack of roamers, and they have tried to, you know, make up for that by actually roaming the last round. The aggressive roam, aka the spawn kill, ended up being another failure, but, you know, the attempt has at least been made. Because the thing is, should you be able to trade, for example, Legion against a Thermite, it's a trade that's absolutely worth it from the defense perspective. So they have actually tried to go for it. The results yet have to show, the results yet have to come, but at the very least... Speaking of adaptation, speaking of, you know, innovating, trying something new, because obviously what you're doing right now doesn't work out, I think they're on the right track. The question is, are you going to have a better, say, roaming execution than last time? Because, once again, last time, The effort was there, but the results not so much.
Yeah, and I think we're going to see probably Taco using a very similar thing here. He may be going to hold cash. He may not be. Oh, actually, wait, I'm sorry. We're CCTV in cash. No need to hold cash. But we do see Banana on the vigil here. And that is going to be probably a key roamer. Someone that's probably going to come around late in the game is going to contest as much as possible. So it's nice to see McDezz adapting right here to anything that Equinox is. I'm sorry, Equinox is adapting here to anything that McDezz is throwing at them. Especially now that McDezz is running double hard breach on the proper site that I think they were expecting to go this time.
Indeed, that would have been, you know, the big bad news for Equinox. Last time they were able to shut Hibana down for the 5th round. It's not going to be that easy since, you know, you simply have more hard breaching capabilities. The fire is going to be launched. Freaks, oh, they're going to be able to evade it just at the tip, and Zofia as well putting tremendous pressure on Freaks. That's going to result in a victory for the hard reaching phase, yet you still have to, you know, rush in through the opening, and that's going to be another beast entirely. However, you know, phase A was an absolute success. Let's just see about phase B.
With this main wall already being open, this round is already looking significantly better for McDezz than it was the last time. They're moving much farther ahead, and not to mention they have the health advantage. Although it may not be by much, that Bandit being left on 25 health from the Zofia shooting below, which I think is how Nins got Freaks last time when he was playing Bandit. And oh, a unfortunate kill. Arzaber taking out Nins. That's Zofia dying very early on to the round. Well, a minute and a half left, and Capitail's pushing in the site. Godzi is going to be taken down by Freaks, not landing a single shot on him. Now a 3v5 situation turned that to a 3v4. As Travel on the Habana is pushing up and takes out the Echo. Yokai's out of play except for anything besides intel.
Absolutely, and that Yokai kill is going to be absolutely crucial later on, as he is so good to prevent the plant of the diffuser. So having these capabilities out of the play is bound to be paying dividends later on. The defenders still have the man advantage, and as such, they can, you know, afford to watch a few different angles, and that's going to be show. Freaks getting a kill, being put down in a dump on a dot stage. And right here, we might be seeing another kill. That's going to be Travel inflicting a lot of damage on Takeo, but not taking him out of the picture. So at this point, intel has been taken. Takeo knows where his opponent is going to be, and he's also reviving his teammate. So it's no longer looking that good for McDezz. Travel is still stuck in the garage, no way to push further anyhow. He tries, but he just gets shut down. Chroma, last operator alive, has been able to push into the bomb site, gets the first kill, will go for a second one. He's not going to be so lucky. With 20 seconds remaining, he is likely to go for the plant soon. Is he going to stick through it, or will he just try to bait it out? He is sticking through it. The Claymore is going to get a kill, and the Natural Cell as well. Double, say, explosive kill, and that's going to be EQuinox Gaming winning the 5th round. But that was pretty close.
That did get down to the very wire right there. I think that the Thatcher, I don't remember exactly who it was, but I believe he was down to just the last probably milliseconds of that plant. The Claymore getting that kill on the Vigil to stop him from running out was obviously a huge move and helped a lot, but those Yokais in sight were still just too much for McDezz to deal with, especially with only 20 seconds left on the board, and Bandit is in an unknown location.
Absolutely. So the Bandit really knew what was going on. I kind of believed that they did not hear the plant go down because, you know, the defenders were somewhat far away. Like, they weren't exactly right next to, I believe it was Thatcher, right? So Chroma was in the position to not have to, you know, bait it out, and he could actually stick through it. He tried. So it must have been, you know, a Yokai drone or another piece of intel. I believe Hibana, or Valkyrie, sorry, was in the composition as well. And, you know, this is exactly what you want to be doing. Do not ping. Just take the intel and feed it to your teammates verbally. It absolutely worked out. Let's just see right now. This is the 6th round. If Equinox Gaming is going to be in a position to just get the points back to a 3-3 situation for the role swap, because if not, they will be in an inherent disadvantage right after the role swap.
100% agree with you on that, Hans. And I'm not sure if Valkyrie was in play last time, but regardless, the Thatcher, I believe, yeah, it was Chroma.
No, she wasn't. She wasn't. I'm looking at the stream with a 4.5 minutes delay. I'm seeing the last round's prep phase, and she wasn't in play, so it's my bad on that. So it must have been a Yokai drone.
Yeah, no, it's totally good. But on top of that, Chroma was planting in default plant spot, which is completely fine to plant in. But it can also be highly expected, especially in the last 20 seconds of a round and trying to get a plant down in a 1v1 situation against someone who may have a nitro cell. That is a very tough spot to be in. There was no way for Chroma to properly execute that if there was Yokai in sight. Otherwise, the bandit just had too much utility to take out Chroma, even if it was just a single nitro cell. Completely game changing.
So this time we are going to have a roamer in play. That's going to be Teiko. I'm not exactly sure why he's roaming in by the side entrance though, because usually you would keep it, you know, to run out and attack somebody that's pushing the garage. However, you know, no push garage is going to be coming off of the McDezz team. So I believe he's just trying to evade detection, and he's just trying to save himself for the late game, which can absolutely end up paying dividends. That's going to be a natural cell baited, and as such, Godzi will be attempting to open up the reinforced hatch. Do we see? Oh, and that's gonna be Nins already pushing in through the tunnel right as the natural cell, hatch already actually gets destroyed, and now we're about to put pressure on two fronts. Teiko also, the roamer is apparently has been shut down. So far, it's looking really good. Now you no longer have to worry about your backs being outflanked, that kind of stuff. The attackers are pushing in through different angles. As you can see here, Nin's putting pressure through construction site, and he barely sees but does not fire at Banana. Travel is also running down the stairs. Oh, if he starts like that in mid-fire fight, that's gonna be fatal. But as we can see here, yet another opening being created. This time through the church wall. Defenders are gonna be outmatched pretty quickly, if not by the gunfight, simply because there's gonna be more angles to cover than they have guns to do so. That flash is gonna be absolutely devastating. Will they rush behind him? Apparently not. But will remain uncontested. Luckily for him, he stays alive. Does not want to peek though. Might end up being a mistake. Frag, refrag immediately. Double kill. Nicely done. Now a 2v1 situation. Situation has been turned upside down. Right here, Murphic's getting the kill. Nicely done. Now a 1v1 situation. Both attackers, or both belligerents, should I say, are really low health. I'm not exactly sure if Hibana is a one-hit situation, but you know, any and all mistake is going to be punished immediately for either of those players. With 40 seconds remaining, we might try to plant the diffuser, but it's not a given.
One yokai is already down, and oh, Marifex is going to be taking some shots on the Banana. Banana, like you said, left in a one-shot situation here. It's going to be a tough angle to hold. Marifex has the diffuser in hand, but no! Banana is going to wind up taking him down, giving the third round to EQuinox Gaming, bringing it to a 3-3 tie on the first half.
This is exactly the round that they needed. Nice angle, by the way. Like, if I was in Hibana's shoes, I would not have aimed that in that direction. She didn't. Like, and it was reasonable. And I don't know how you didn't die to the Ella, lol. Yeah, we didn't see Ella's roaming last game, or last round, but, you know, this was supposed to be the hidden ace up their sleeve, which just totally fell through. And I wish I had seen this, because I feel like Ella had tremendous potential, but she just didn't live up to it, you know? That's going to be leaving us with the 7th round. And the one thing I really like to point out is with the role swap, a new team's obviously going to be defending, new team's going to be attacking. So the thing is, for example, nobody on the orange team used to be playing Doc on defense, and it seems like Travel is going to be maining Doc. On the attacker side, a Buck will be brought forth to the table. The point is, we're going to be seeing new utility and new ways to play the game. It's just going to breathe a puff of fresh air into the game here at the, say, halftime.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a change of pace from what we've seen on defense thus far. Something that McDezz is bringing on defense this side, or actually they have a lack of, is intel. Every single round, we saw EQuinox bringing, you know, a Valkyrie or an Echo. I think Echo was played basically every single round, Valkyrie a few rounds, but...
And looking at it, we have no bulletproof cameras either. Like, that was, you know, the last possible attempt at salvation for the blue team. They have plenty of impact nades, nitro cells, barbed, but no utility, or no intel, like you said.
Yeah, I think they're going to be relying more on kind of sound intel and entry denial rather than any sort of intel gathering. Like, because there's no bulletproof cams, no yokais, no black eyes. Might be some sort of heavy roam, might be... It really could be a mix of things. This is going to be a very intense change of pace, and I think it actually may be some sort of plant denial here, with Chroma playing downstairs underneath the CCTV site.
Yeah, so he's basically you know, shutting down access to the main stairs with the different castle barricades in the different doorways. You cannot just rush in and push him. So he also has a nice line of sight on the garage, should that prove you know, useful. However, it's not going to be worth much if that wall is already being opened up, and if you're already funneling into the objective through the say, I don't know, balcony, without having to actually run up the staircase. So Chroma's position might just end up to prove useless. and he may have to rotate back up. In the meantime, however, Mera is absolutely intent on not letting the attackers run into the building. But you know, time is still a factor.
Harzabar's already left on 1 shot health. I think that may have been the contesting with Mera here. See, Bandit is slightly lower on health, but Harzabar Hibana is very low on health. He's going to try to peek that dock. Travel all the way over on Catwalk. Travel barely taking hits here. Left at about 80 health. But he's going to be holding as tight as he can, trying to hold those tight angles on Hibana, Thermite, or anyone trying to peek that angle on the main kind of balcony area.
And right now, we are going to be seeing that Nins is in the bedroom area, so you cannot just enter through construction either. It would be too dangerous, as he gets a nice kill here on Banana. That drone is going to feed intel, but will be destroyed, will be shut down immediately. Will we be rushing behind him? Like, Teiko has taken position in the building. He might either get into a goose chase and just run after the roamer, or he might as well just turn his attention back to the bomb site, which is exactly what he's doing, barely evading Godzi's fire. And this is stretching the defenders thin, to be honest. Like, multiple walls have been open. You have a body that's not an OBJ. Like, Nins is, strictly speaking, right now not really contributing to his team. And as such, I feel like LesCroquetteMcDezz, they're in an artificial man disadvantage right now. But that's going to change as Godzi gets 1 kill, maybe even a double. He gets the double kill. He might even have gotten the triple kill if he had been more insistent. But that's going to be Nins coming back up, and he will absolutely be a great danger to Freaks, who knows who's keenly aware of the danger. He's not, you know, in a position to be pushing forward. That's paralyzing him, to be honest, and he is just open to be outflanked from another direction at the same time, since he's not moving at all.
Freak's going to know time of day here, and oh, the jump out and run out from Godzi is going to take out that Hibana, and the attempt from Legion's going to try to sneak past him, but unfortunately is not going to land the shots, and Travel is going to be the one to finish him off.
Indeed. So, what I really like to see coming off of both teams is the frag-refrag situation. Like, rarely, if ever, will you see an isolated player just get killed and no way whatsoever for the opposing team to get the refrag or to get the intel and act on the intel that the dying player is going to feed to them. I was going to say, I believe Wamai is not allowed. However, as a caster, I'm not allowed either to have an impact on the game, so I'm not going to point it out. And, you know, should this end with a protest, I'm not going to be in a position to act on it. But there we go. Echo is going to be taking Wamai's place right at the last second with the 6th pick. But that's going to be a fairly predictable 6th pick. As such, you might expect the attackers to know basically what they're going up against.
Yeah, I believe that when the second half of the Pro League split began this season, Season 11, Wamai became unbanned or out of his sanction period because it's been 3 months since his launch. Now it's Oryx and Yana who are left in the.
Oh, goddammit! I'm living in the past. I am living in the past. Indeed, Oryx and Yana. I am. Funny enough, it's not the first time I've made this mistake. With Goyo, last time I said, hey, I don't think they're supposed to be playing this, and, you know, they were 100% allowed. So that's just going to invalidate anything and everything I just said. However, McDezz may have just been listening to what we were saying. They're bringing forth 2 intel-based operators this time, with Echo and Nins, however, is not really a reliable intel operator, because, you know, he has to get those drones, and you cannot guarantee that the drone's going to be jumping on the pest. So he's more of an intel denial operator, but he still has the potential to, you know, get to know who and where the attackers are. And that's going to be Chroma being put down by Banana, already pushing in pretty aggressively. Teiko also, but he'll be taking fire immediately by, I believe it was Nins, who wanted to contest his insertion into the building. It's going to work, but only partially. Teiko's lost a tremendous amount of health, but he's still standing, and at the end of the day, it's basically all that matters.
The thought of a roam for Nins is going to be actually falling apart here, especially after Chroma was taken out super early onto the round. We saw Nins trying to head upstairs, but then coming back to back up Chroma, and now he's going to fall back to site, and is probably going to try to rely on those drones that he can get with his spider gadget to give the intel they need that he can no longer get as a roamer.
Indeed. He's coming back up, however, and he somehow managed to evade detection. Should the attackers have already drawn this area, they're not going to be paying attention. It's absolutely going to work out. He gets a nice kill on Teiko, who was not expecting, but he was a really, really soft target as well. So utility-wise, you know, Buck does have the capabilities of playing verticality, so he's going to be important. Thatcher, however, is going to be much more important. And, you know, Nins is just in a position to be an absolute terror, but his reign is going to come to an end as Harzbar gets the kill. And, you know, losing Hibana would have been just devastating to the attackers, so that was the perfect timing to get the kill. The man advantage is now disappeared as it's a 3v3 situation. Both hard breaching operators are still, you know, up and running, so that's good. However, you've lost Thatcher. There's no Cade, so it shouldn't be too big of a deal, but, you know, for example, right here, Church Wall is now no longer going to be an option, or no longer going to be an easy option.
Yeah, and especially with Nins taking out Taco there, or Taco, however you want to say it. Buck getting taken out is a huge thing, especially on a site like the basement site here, with so much soft destruction all around in the outside hallway, all the way in kitchen. It's going to have to go to a lot of horizontal play, and I think that's something we're going to see, especially with Godzi sitting inside of the blue hallway. Actually, my bad, he is not behind blue hallway. I think that might have been Travel or Mira.
Well, let's just rush it real quick. Yeah, so Myrna is in the blue hallway. Godzi gets a nice kill and say the main hallway or the hatch, I'm not exactly sure. But right here, I really like the positioning because he has the potential to shut down a few different entry points. The hatch, the main hallway, and their tunnel. So when you have the man disadvantage or when you're, you know, down a few guns, it gets really difficult to shut down every possible entryway. But God's positioning, though it's risky because he's exposed to a lot of different angles, and that's gonna be an easy kill right here. His positioning was still really clever. God's positioning as well, new positioning, should I say, was really clever. He had absolutely no cover whatsoever, but he was hidden by Thermite's gun when he was aiming. So, hey, clever little trick. And there you go. The shotgun at that distance does not forgive. It's not going to be a 5v3 situation, or 5-3 situation points setting. And that's something I say usually. You only need 7 points to win the game, right? And out of a total of 12 rounds maximum, without overtime, well, 2 rounds out of 12, this can happen pretty quickly. The game might just come to an end extremely fast here. I don't exactly expect this to happen because, you know, I still think that EQuinox will be able to win 1 or 2 rounds. But, you know, we're entering into the late stages of the round.
Yeah, that I need to go back on this. That 3-3 split that McDezz and EQuinox had is definitely proving extremely beneficial to McDezz, or LesCroquetteMcDezz. You can definitely see that here. They went the more expected first 2 sites, CCTV and then basement, and now they're going back to gym, which would typically be the less preferred site. So if they lose here, they're not going to stress too much because they'll see if they can do exactly what they did again on CCTV and basement.
Absolutely.
7-5, maybe, or 7-4, maybe 7-5. We'll see about that.
So right now, I don't see Croquette being surprising or being unexpected in any sense of the word. So they shouldn't be able to gather any type of advantage of surprise. However, you know, to play devil's advocate, going for the preferred or for the best strategy, well, it should be expected. And as such, even though the attackers might know what they're going up against, that doesn't mean they're going to have an easy time actually foiling Croquette's plan. And that wall not being reinforced might actually prove fatal. Like right here, he was still reinforcing. Had you rushed in there, he might even have been able to get the kill. Nins getting a nice frag on Teiko. That's going to be first blood. Not diffuser lost, and you know, a few ceiling slash floors are destructible, but you don't usually play destructibility, so it's more of an all-around fragger that's been lost for the attackers here.
A very strong entry fragger and someone that would have been vital to stopping any sort of push from below. Taco on the Buck would have been able to sit down below, watch for any nitro cells, and try to, you know, push people out of gym or out of bedroom or out of any of these different places. And we actually see Travel here is trying to stop the Thermite from getting in by bandit tricking, but Habana and Thermite both
what is Bot doing
on the wall. What?
Bot just fumbled with his controls or something. He brought it out. He just canceled the plan of the exothermic charge multiple times, and that bait was 100% gonna work. Harzbar was on his last pellet. And Bot here, I just believe, has made a mistake or has, you know, missed something with the controls, because that was an easy and a free way to open up the reinforced wall, which they just gave up upon. So that's going to be plan A just being a total loss. And now let's see how well equipped they are to, you know, put plan B into action.
Yeah, now it's going to be up to Croquette to just hold doors and windows in this small hole that Habana has made here. And we actually see, I believe that's Mara possibly going to be able to take shots and is going to take out Harzabar here. Now, 5v2 situation in favor of Croquette.
As he gets run out.
And, the
Double
run
kill.
out.
That was unfortunate.
That was a wonderfully timed run out from both ends of Godzi here.
I believe it's more of a thing of luck than anything else, because, you know, except if he had crazy intel, he didn't have time to realize that he was turning around, and then with human reaction time actually realize what's happening and then subsequently running out. I just believe it was dumb luck, but, you know, the point still stands. There should have been a Claymore, and it was Thermite, right? Thermite, I don't expect him to be running the flash nades, so there 100% should have been a Claymore under that window.
Yeah, I can totally agree to that. And that fatal mistake, unfortunately, is going to go ahead and bring Croquette to match point, up 6-3. And it looks like Taco's actually going to be switching out that Buck to a Zofia. Not having a lot of luck on Buck these past couple rounds, being taken out pretty early on. Maybe Zofia and her weapon is going to prove a little bit.
I kind of like how Zofia's weapon, or Zofia as an operator, is an all-around operator, you know? When you're in a, say, 1v3 with, say, Dokkaebi, you think to yourself, okay, that's going to be really difficult. But the Zofia has a good fragging potential, you know, opening up soft surfaces with the concussion nade. You can buy yourself an advantage, mild advantage, granted, but still an advantage in a firefight. She has also the, I believe, the Claymore, so she can watch her own back. They seem to be playing her with the breaching charge, or they were last round at least. Taiko this time will be bringing forth the Claymore. So a really good all-around operator, to be sure. Yet she's not usually the team play type of character that you might need in that kind of situation, right? We're not in a casual play, in a quick player, should I say, quick match, playing alone, just doing your own thing. So let's just see. This is match point now. So EQuinox Gaming are backs against the wall. Any and all mistakes is going to prove fatal to them. And they're keenly aware of that. I don't see them crumbling under the pressure. You know, I don't see them just panicking and making dumb mistakes as a consequence. But still, it is going to be in the back of their minds constantly, and they're going to be keenly aware of that.
Yes, I think EQuinox may be a little relieved this round, especially seeing that there is no bandit and no mute, no sort of entry denial on that hard breach.
True.
And Bot and Harzaber have both brought hard breach, Habana and Habana and Thermite. So it is definitely going to be a definitive opening for EQuinox here. But Doc is actually taking out pretty early. Harzabar, that is an absolutely insane angle from Harzabar, and Ninja is going to retreat back towards cash room as Godzi gets taken out by Taiko, already having more luck on Zofia than he did with Buck these past 2 rounds.
True, fair enough. This time, however, the feat might end up proving fatal. However, Taiko does have the impact grenades, right? Why isn't he using them? That's like the big question, I have to say. There's going to be Mara also falling to Banana's fire. So now a 2v5 situation. No defender on the bomb side itself. Oh, Nins was able to come back. So that's the good news, but he'll be taken down immediately. Chroma now in a 1v5 situation. It's basically clutch or kick. Will he get the ace? If he does, it's going to be an amazing end to the game. But, you know, it's statistically speaking really unlikely. He has also basically the weakest gun in the game, you know, really low rate of fire. He's bound to get a free kill right here. Nicely done. Will he be flanked? That flash grenade, he evades it. Another one does not evade it as he just did last time. He will not be rushed blindly as a consequence. However, you know, the attackers are still going to be taking it slowly, but he still got 2 kills and he's still going strong. Still up to 100% of life. That proof-fire exactly gave away Zofia's positioning. He's pushing in, but there's Thermite right here. Does not get the flick. EQuinox Gaming winning the 10th round and staying in the game for, at the very least, another round.
That was an absolutely amazing take here from EQuinox. I don't think that anyone was expecting them to push that heavily, especially after they see that there's no bandit and no one contesting from opening that wall. They were able to open that wall and just get in free and clear. And Habana taking out Doc very early into the round. I believe it was Mara was able to just absolutely annihilate the dock so early on that
That angle, right?
yeah, one of the number one site holders was taken out much earlier than he needed to be. And with the, I don't want to say bad juju, but the bad vibes coming from CCTV, we're going to be seeing Croquette returning down to basement, where they won, I would say, pretty well. Not going to be pulling the same strategy here with the smoke using the double shield in the church hallway, but we may see something a little more roamer heavy, especially seeing Godzi and Nins, Mozzie, a very similar hold to what is now known as the SSG basement hold that I have personally seen a lot of teams adapting to and trying to make their own.
So you're absolutely right, and I really do want to put emphasis on that. The quote-unquote easiest bomb site to defend would be CCTV, and the blue team just lost there. They could have gone up there again, and they elected not to on their own accord, right? So they truly do believe they have a better shot at winning this in the basement bomb site. Let's see how it's going to work. And just like you said, we are going to be seeing a heavier, or actually fairly heavy emphasis on the roaming this time once again. And so far, it does not seem as if it's going to be foiled in the first few seconds of the round. Let's just try not to kill yourself with that impact nade. However, I do believe he wants to open up. Yeah, right there. He wants to see if the hatch is going to be open. However, he was really open to that wall being opened up. Chroma is also going to be helping out his teammates, and as such, the attackers right here will have a great deal of misery to flushing out the Romans, but that was a poorly timed judgment call coming off of Godzi, who will be taken out really early on. Nins is absolutely still in the game, but he went back down there, and Kuroma does not seem too intent on trying to get the refrag or on actively keeping the pressure on the EQuinox, and as such, he's more or less just passively holding the angle and protecting this hatch.
Chroma is definitely going to just try to protect his hatch with his life. This is one of the most vital hatches, besides obviously the kitchen hatch. But I think everyone's just kind of going to give in, especially in that case, with Harzabar on the Habana, going to be able to easily get it. And, oh, actually breaching charge from Habana. And, oh, Chroma is going to take out Harzabar. That is Diffuser down 2 floors away from site. And Chroma taking out one of 2 hard breach that is left in the game right now.
Absolutely. With the camera, the default camera is still intact. That camera is going to be covering his back, so he can absolutely turn his attention to the hatch. He's not going to do so, however, and Freaks is going to take advantage of said distraction. Thermite, now being the last operator alive, still has 2 breaching charges, or exothermic charges. However, that's going to force him into a judgment call. That's going to be the first hatch open. Does he want to open up the second hatch right here? Does he want to go for the dirt tunnel? Or even the church wall? Like, what does he want to do? And that's really going to have an impact, a lasting impact on the rest of the round. There's going to be another yokai drone. Murphix can't do too much right now. It's disabled. So that's going to be a tiny piece of intel, should I say, going Equinox's way. And that drone does not get spotted. That's quite unusual. Camera destroyed. Pre-fires are really dangerous. Banana's just rushing in nonetheless. Gets the kill. Nicely done. Nins and Mura now in a 2v3 situation. Heavy pre-fires preventing Mura from just, peeking there. He sees the drone, destroys it. And that was, the big problem he was facing. And I believe that was Thermite opening up the church wall. Indeed, he's now in a position to start planting. Freaks is going to do so. Everything now hinges on Bots' protection of Freaks. And so far, the defenders are far enough that there's not too great of a danger watching them. As such, Diffuser is planted with a 1v3 situation. That's not looking good for Murphix, who does not even realize that Ash was there. And Banana basically gets a free kill.
We can see Croquette here is definitely starting to fall apart as Equinox starts adapting to their own... Equinox is starting to adapt to Croquette's defense, or, I'm kind of fumbling here. Why don't you just take over, huh?
The blue team's defense has been foiled 2 rounds in a row. And if we were just to take a look back and look at historical data. So, right after the rule swap, the defenders were able to win 3 rounds in a row, which put them in a match point situation. This time, however, I'm not going to be making the same mistake twice. Godzi is not. Godzi's playing RX. RX is not allowed. There you go. 6-pick, predictable 6-pick. Going back into it. They won 3 rounds in a row, and right now, the orange team, so the attackers, Equinox, won 2 rounds in a row. Could we speak of, let's say, momentum being inverted into Equinox's favor? Maybe. Another, say, hypothesis I could bring forth is simply the fact that Croquette's defenses won the first time, let's say due to the advantage of surprise. You know, let's just give them the benefits of the doubt. Right now, said advantage of surprise has obviously been lost, and as such, EQuinox is starting once again to win their rounds. With all that being said, we are seeing both teams in a match point situation, but in their own unique way for both of them. Should the blue team win, obviously the game is going to be put to an end pretty quickly. Should EQuinox win, however, we are going to be put in a match point situation, and as such, there's going to be no easy way for either of those teams to quickly put an end to the game, to quickly win the match, and as such, should the next round, should this one single round be won by EQuinox, we are in for another 2 rounds at the very least. Taiko being really careful about any and all potential spawn peaks or spawn kills. Luckily for him, nobody's going for that strategy. However, there's absolutely going to be Nins roaming about, and he's going to be going for a more, say, passive or defensive roam. He's going to be holding an angle simply in the other bomb site, or in the other room, should I say. And as such, he shouldn't be caught off guard like he was last time. That's already going to be better or going to have more potential. That drone apparently did not see him. As such, he has tremendous potential, unlike Roma, who was right here and who just falls under, I believe it was Hibana's or Zofia's bullets. Probably Hibana's bullets. There we go.
This could actually turn out absolutely huge here for Nins. With that drone not seeing him, if it didn't see him, those calls are going to be coming out, right? Then Nins could easily land 1, 2, possibly even 3 kills, depending on how heavily they're going to push upstairs. And indeed, I don't think that Nins is going to... Oh, and he's going to get droned out. He's not going to do anything absolutely crazy, as Croquette knows this is the decider round. Actually, Nins is going to be pinched very heavily here. Going to take shots on the 1, and Freaks is only going to lose a little bit of health, down to about 65 or 70 health. 3 left on site, a 3v5 situation. And we saw something very similar to this last round, and I think EQuinox is just going to wind up doing their best to push the site. Now, both hard creatures are still left alive, so we're going to see a lot more opened up than we did before.
Yeah.
However, Legion and Echo are both still on site, along with Bandit, who has a Nitro cell. Those 3 things are going to be the things that you want most when you're left in a tight situation like this. Attacking basement is no easy feat, and Godzi is going to make sure that there is no way they're getting down those main stairs, and Echo is doing his best to hold blue.
Like, every possible or predictable entryway is now being, you know, held by one or the other defender. For example, Murphix here is totally shutting down blue stairs, or blue corridor as a whole. Travel here are looking at the hatch, looking at the tunnel, and Godzi, well, he's just basically taking care of the rest. But he will be under tremendous pressure here. He's no longer watching Moto. He's totally open to a flank, watching the opening in the wall. But, you know, Freaks apparently wants to push in. So that seems to be a really probable firefight profiling itself right here. Thatcher's EMP grenade, so any and all goo mines will be shut down there. Well, I hear a drone. Taiko taking down Travel. That's going to be major. He goes for the kill, gets 1 kill. Will he get the double? He is out of bullets, but probably gets it. He's dumping it out. It should be fairly easy to get a kill, but he's in a 1v4 situation. There was no way in hell for him to survive that. EQuinox Gaming officially bringing forth the overtime situation. They do not want to give up, and the one thing I said previously absolutely holds true. They are not crumbling under the pressure. They know they're not allowed any mistakes, and they're absolutely making sure that no mistake is being made by them.
Seeing that Croquette went on to overtime, EQuinox has completely revamped what they've been doing. It's really kicked them into gear. And now they are taking Croquette by the throats and just trying to run with them as long as they can. We saw a few rounds ago, round 9, Croquette won round number 9. That was them going into match point 6-3. And EQuinox just went on a fury since then, taking out anyone in their line of sight, not letting a single person out. And I think we can probably see EQuinox having a very strong attack round here, and possibly taking out Croquette here. But we will be returning back to CCTV, and this time we will see Nins playing the Bandit once again. Not going to be playing as roamer heavy as he was these past 3 rounds with Mozzie, but
no Castle is going to be in the composition either.
yeah, no castle is going to be in the composition, but they are definitely going to be trying their best to hold that main CCTV site wall, prevent them from getting in there. Probably letting construction go, and I think we're going to wind up seeing EQuinox having to just push through windows and doors as much as they possibly can here.
So I kind of, there you go, that drone being destroyed. I kind of feel like the mistake Croquette made last round, or you know, in the last few rounds when they were defending CCTV previously, was to overextend themselves. Like if you try to hold on to this and that forward-facing corridor, like if you Gazi here unironically attempts to hold on to lounge, all of that positioning is totally worthless if the attackers are able to circumvent and essentially short-circuit said positioning, which is exactly what we saw, right? The attackers were able to funnel into the objective, and the remaining defenders had to go for a retake situation, which is not easy. After all, the defenders are equipped to, it's said in their name, defend any and all situation, right? So just, you know, staying a bit closer to the objective, not exactly going for an all turtle strat, like Roma here is still going to be holding an angle and paying dearly for it. So they're learning from their mistakes, but they're not going all out to protect the bomb site. To me, it feels like it at the very least.
Takeo's taking out his aggression on the Roamer, is taking out the Chroma with only a minute into the round. Zofia is definitely more his operator than Buck was those first 3 rounds that we saw. And Nin's actually going to be left at pretty low health as well with, I believe that was, that was Zofia's impact grenades from below and some gunshots, not sure where, when I saw his health depleting. And it looks like the site wall is going to be opened by bot here because Nin's, I believe, has just completely retreated.
So the thing is, the defenders are now in a really tight spot. They're going to be receiving pressure from multiple different angles. Gazi here is technically exposed to he's not exactly exposed, but you know, he's still in a somewhat big danger of being pushed from the main opening. Gets a nice kill here, turns on, gets a double kill. That's going to be absolutely huge. However, Banana is just pushing in, doing the same thing on the other side, getting a nice first kill, trying to press the advantage and just keep on pushing forward. It's not exactly going to work, but still, the attackers have the man advantage, and Mira is just falling back at the right time, it might seem, because he's absolutely protecting Godzi's back. However, there are more attackers and defenders remaining, and, you know, there's no way in hell for Godzi to hold every single angle at once, and as such, he has to make a choice.
Gazi's going to be doing his damnedest to hold sight here, but he knows they're in sight. They're going to be planting, taking shots on the Zofia. Taco is down. Godzi on a triple kill, left in a 1v2 situation with one in sight, directly contesting the Pala, but nope. That is going to be Harzabar taking out Godzi, absolutely annihilating him. But nonetheless, Godzi did try his best and almost brought that back for Croquette. Left in a 1v3 situation, had a lot of potential, but unfortunately, it's just too much to handle, especially on a site like this with so many walls and windows already opened up. There's too much to watch, and one person left on site. It's very difficult to hold it all.
So here's the thing. At this point, EQuinox have won 4 rounds in a row. They definitely do have some sort of momentum, and they definitely do have the ball rolling currently. So, are they going to be able to use said momentum to their advantage? I absolutely do expect them to, at the very least, try. However, now that they're going to be defending, any and all routine or any and all repetition that's been brought forth, say Ash every single time going for the entry frag with this or that other operator droning him out, is now going to be cut short because they're defending. So they have to reestablish a routine, reestablish a repetition, and that could just foil a few habits that they have took in the last few rounds. So, have they forgotten, or how well do they remember what their flaws, or how the attackers, or how Croquette, should I say, used to attack the bottom bomb site? All of those questions will have a really big impact on the possibly last round here.
EQuinox only won 3 defense rounds, and 2 of those were on basement. They're 2-1 on basement for their defensive wins right now. So it's not surprising that we are seeing EQuinox go back to basement, taking on Arsenal and Church for what could potentially be their final round and a beautiful 5-round comeback.
Yep.
But Croquette has won one single basement round here, and bringing that double hard breach and pushing in as hard as they can. I think EQuinox is in for a surefire fight here, especially with Croquette not wanting to lose at this point in the game.
Absolutely. Like, they're not gonna just roll over and just die, you know? What I really want to keep an eye for is going to be Banana. Like, I believe he was playing not Zofia, Ella earlier on, you know, drone. That's why they go here, to drone or to use the camera, should I say, without being spotted themselves. Freaks apparently taking damage due to Travel, who will be absolutely aware of his positioning in real time. That's going to be really dangerous. However, he just stops using the cardiac sensor at the very last. You know, it's just a matter of a single lucky shot, and Pulse is done for. That's not the kind of risk I'd want to take. And yet he just keeps on doing so, you know? You know, once again.
Yeah, I don't think that Freaks was mainly expecting an IQ to be sniffing him out per se. But nonetheless, he's going to be doing that. And Banana's actually in a very, very nice spot here in Strip Club to try to take out Chroma and possibly Nins as well. Kind of looping around the backside here. Pushing in towards Bathroom, and he's coming up right behind Nins. Oh, nope.
Does not seem like he's been droned out. Looking at their movements, it does not seem like the attackers are aware of his position. Like, Chroma here is droning. That's going to be a free kill. He only has to realize this. There you go. Another kill. Apparently not, because Thermite had dropped down. So had Banana been able to get those kills, he would have just let death rain down on Gazi, or rather Travel, I believe. That's going to be another important kill. Another one. He is just on a roll, but also taking heavy fire. Freaks now. Flurry of kills. I cannot even verbalize everything that's happening without, well, stuff happening. So there you go. A flurry of kills. Attackers just funnel into the objective on many, many different fronts at once, and it absolutely paid off. EQuinox losing the round in a really decisive manner. I believe their only kill was Jaeger's kill, right? So now, 7-7, no matter what happens, the game ends here.
We could possibly see this come down to a absolutely immense frag fest here. But so far in overtime, what we have seen is the attacking side win both times. So our defenders going to absolutely bunker down like they have in the first few rounds of this game. Are we going to see a more kind of roamer heavy play like we see Chroma and Nins on the Jaeger and Mozzie here? And it looks like Godsy's actually will be switching off of a possible roamer alibi and going to be sitting more on site with Pulse. And without EQuinox bringing an IQ here, there's going to be very little way to sniff him out. And we could see a pretty early pick with Nitro Cell once EQuinox pushes in the kitchen.
100%. The one thing, however, I do want to point out is, you know, if somebody is good at slowing down roamers, it's going to be Castle, you know. So depending on how he wants to put down those Castle barricades, he also has a great potential to slow things down. And as such, you know, should Croquette's roamers be fleshed out really early on, Merfix kind of has the potential to kind of recover the lost time, or the, you know, the time that the roamers weren't able to just cause EQuinox to waste, basically. It remains to be seen, because, you know, even Nins could just be planting his pests in a until denial, you know, positioning and just stay on site. That's not totally out of the question. Same for Chroma, right? He doesn't have a gadget that's actively going to help him roaming, and he might as well just stay on site, just like Travel likely will, you know. But with that being said, it does not seem like either of those is going to be staying put on OBJ, as Travel is going back up. He's going back up. Nins will be going to the toilets. And how will the attackers be reacting to this? It's going to be an absolute anti-roaming, say, operation that's going on. Every square inch of the top floor is likely to be drowned out by Banana, I believe. There we go. Let's see nobody at the top floor, however, as Travel was up here, but he just went back to the pool table, apparently. So we'll be droning out for a long time with next to nothing to show for it. The second step will likely be to start attacking those hatches, and should the droning game be slowing down for the first floor, that could end up being a tremendous advantage for the roamers.
I agree. EQuinox is definitely taking every bit of square space that they can. Oh, Nin's actually going to find one. Freaks, that's Thatcher taken out fairly early on. His pool table position is now going to be known, but a lot of EQuinox's attackers are going to be still up on the second floor or far away, so there's no potential refrag here. Nin's still going to be holding an angle, and as Banana here starts pushing up into the bar, is he going to be able to take out Nins? Nins is going to take some shots onto him. No shots will connect. Banana will push the pool table. Nins directly contested, going to take out Banana. Now 5v3 situation. Both Taco and Bot are close by, and some shots are going to be taken off from the stairs. Bot's going to go ahead and take out Mara. That's Castle down, but his utility is already down. Everything is expended. Travel inside of the bathroom with Nitro Cell. He's not going to be spotted just yet. Oh, Nins and Travel are both going to fall to the attackers. Harzabar and Taco going to go ahead and take out all roam presence left on this game. 2 rounds left. A potential Nitro Cell from Godzi here is not going to connect. Actually, no Nitro Cell thrown out just yet. Haban's going to get that hatch, though. Godzi's going to retrieve his Nitro Cell, and all is going to go back to normal.
So I just want to say this is textbook roaming. Oh, Godzi finally getting killed with the Nitro Cell though. Textbook roaming. They were absolutely able to slow down the push, get a few lucky kills. No, Hibana falling to the Romas was absolutely huge. Will we see a wallbang connecting? Apparently not. Chroma will be looking at the main corridor, looking back to the left side. It's now a 2v2 situation, so the good news is nobody has, you know, the inherent advantage. Nobody can easily outflank or, you know, outmaneuver their opponents. 2 separate 1v1 situation might be quite a possibility right here. This might end up being a knife kill. There we go. 1v1 situation. Diffuser has been picked up. Will be planted. There was no intel operated in the game. However, you know, Godzi absolutely heard that be planted. It's not going to be a plant bait, or he's not going to be faking it. He's out on actual cell, so he has no, you know, easy way of getting the cheeky kill. He's absolutely positive on his opponent's positioning, though, so that's going to be the good news. Totally flashed as he is. Wasting a bit of time is going to prove precious for bots. But still, Godzi has the intel advantage. Let's just see if he can put it to good use. Goes for the free fires. That does not work out. And that's going to be Bot getting the final kill and winning the game for EQuinox. What a game. It came down to the wire. Literally a 1v1 situation with Diffuser planted. Even though Pulse had the technical advantage, the UMP45 is just such a weak gun. And there we go. EQuinox taking the game.
That was an absolutely wonderful push and a retake, not of the site, but rather of the situation, with multiple roamers off site from Croquette or McDezz, I guess you could say. It was definitely looking grim. Yeah, Croquette McDezz. With their roamers so far off site. Actually, let me change this up over here.
Yo, GG's.
Sorry, I had to put the camera back up.
Yeah, no worries.
With Croquette having so many roamers off site, it was definitely a very strong hold on the first floor, but the kills from Nins just weren't enough. Even though he was able to land 2 kills, it just simply wasn't enough to stop EQuinox from their push, to stop their momentum piling forward ever since the first win on round 10, or their first attack win on round 10. We just saw an absolute train flying forward, and they didn't want to stop.
Yeah, momentum is a big thing. Like if you listen or if you watch Pro League yourself, talking to the viewers here, if you guys watch Pro League, the casters will from time to time reference the first kill. And the first kill is so important because, you know, that's how you begin to construct a momentum on a round per round basis, not on a, you know, overall fashion, but still. Just getting the slightest advantage and using said slight advantage to just increase and increase and increase, you know, the way you just demolish your opponent, it's a snowball effect, quite literally. And as such, I was somewhat surprised to see the roamers getting the first few kills and then ending up, you know, being bested. It was predictable. There weren't a 2v5 situation, and they got a few lucky kills, like Harzabar, Hibana being taken out of the board. That was a big one. At the end of the day, it was sadly not enough. But I really like the game. Like, I absolutely do love tense games because we cannot know how it's going to play out. And as such, everybody's tense, we are tense, and, you know, the advantage of surprise, or, you know, simply having the surprise kept for us is so amazing. When it's a 6-0 match point situation, you know who's going to win. So it's no longer as exciting to watch or to cast.